What's good guys, Tiger here and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be making video on Black Ops 4 again. I know it has been so long since I've made a Black Ops 4 video, or at least it feels like a very long time. However, I know you guys really want to see that kind of content, so today I thought I would start it, get back into that game and start making content that you guys enjoy. So today I thought I'd discuss something that I've been thinking about for a while, or I was thinking about it when I was playing Black Ops 4, and that is of course hipfiring. Hipfiring is a really interesting aspect of COD that tends to change every single game. Sometimes it's very effective, sometimes it's not very effective, and I think it's interesting to talk about how effective it should be, because if we look at it from a realistic perspective, it's not something that you would do. I mean, I'm not anyone who shoots guns or anything like that. I've said before, I really do not know anything about guns or shooting or anything like that. However, if you're firing from the hip, you haven't got the gun in your shoulder, you're not aiming down sight, you're not precisely shooting, you're going to have very bad aim. I'm pretty sure if you hold the gun from your hip, you just have zero control of that. I mean, guns are very powerful, especially automatic weapons. I couldn't imagine the force that goes against you when you fire a fully automatic weapon like we have in these COD games. I'm sure we have all seen videos on the internet of how people can hurt themselves if they are not holding guns like these properly. However, in COD games, hip firing is fairly effective. In fact, you can have certain class setups, certain perks and attachments that make hip firing really effective. We've had this for over a decade now, especially certain attachments like Gung Ho and other perks that just allow you to sprint while hip firing and just allows you to do really well without aiming down sight, without necessarily controlling the weapon and being accurate. Now in Black Ops 4's case, hip firing can be made very effective. You have weapons like the Cordite, where you have laser sight and it just has such tight crosshairs. You've got the Hades with a laser sight as well as the crossbar operator mod. You've got the Akimbo Sorgs where you can't aim down sight. And then you've got other weapons, especially shotguns. Shotguns are notorious for not needing to aim down sight while shooting. But I think when you start to see real problems is when you have weapons like an ICR that can tend to do very well hip firing without any added benefits in terms of attachments or perks. And I've discussed hip firing in Black Ops 4 with a few people, and I think maybe we should think about whether it is fair or not to have effective hip firing, because I think we can all agree we want COD games, we want any Call of Duty title to be a fair game, where you get rewarded for being good at the game, for improving at the game, and rewarded for being accurate, being skillful, being intelligent. As hip firing, because the crosshair is a lot wider, your shots have a larger area to disperse. They can literally go in any direction. So that creates a lot of randomness when firing a weapon from hip firing. For example, if you've got a very inaccurate weapon and you're hip firing, there's a chance that you might be able to get a headshot and kill them in 1 or 2 shots. You might hit them in the legs, in the torso, or you might absolutely miss them completely. I'm sure we have all had these situations many times where we fire 10, 20 bullets and they all pretty much miss while hip firing. So there is a lot of randomness. And with the ICR, it can be very accurate while hip firing. And as we all know, the ICR is one of the most consistent long-range weapons in the game. The gun is just designed to be a long-range weapon because it has zero recoil. I love that weapon so much. Consistency is so important to me in Black Ops 4. I really think in these latter stages, consistency, having consistent weapons is really important, especially if you do want consistent results and see yourself improve, because if you've got an inconsistent weapon, not only are you as a person going to have good and bad games, but your gun can have good and bad games itself, depending whether the luck is in your favour or not. So hip firing is something that is just really interesting. And with Black Ops 4, headshot multipliers aren't as effective unless you are using high caliber 1 and 2. But then we've got games like Modern Warfare coming out, where headshot multipliers seem to be more impactful, and I'm sure we have all seen during the beta that you can have gunfights where you can just absolutely melt someone in 2 shots. You can just kill someone or just die instantly because they get a headshot on you or not. And then if you take into account hip firing as well, if you hip fire and get a headshot, you could really joke someone, like absolute bullshit someone out of an easy kill. Because if you've got a high sensitivity or good reactions, and you hear that someone is behind you, or they shoot first, and you just turn on them and get 1 or 2 lucky shots to the head while hip firing, then that is just absolutely insane. I think it's something really hard to balance. I mean, how do you balance hip firing? Hip firing can only be random, can't it? You cannot have any other mechanic or any other algorithm in place to control hip firing. I mean, maybe they should make hip firing recoil a lot more because you're not in control of the weapon. Maybe the hip firing spread should be a lot bigger, so you are forced to aim down sight no matter how close you are, unless you literally put the gun into the person's back. But then in that situation, you might as well just melee them instead. So I think hip firing is really interesting. It's really weird. In Black Ops 4, I think it's very effective. You can get a lot done with hip firing. I hope in Modern Warfare it's a lot less accurate, but I'll be really interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are on hip firing in Black Ops 4 and in other CODs. But that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section and what Black Ops 4 videos you guys want to see. In the community tab on my channel, I am doing a poll asking on what type of Black Ops 4 content you want to see. I would actually love to start making more Blackout content as we get closer to Modern Warfare, because I do actually enjoy Blackout. It's one of the very few things I enjoy about Black Ops 4 nowadays. But anyway, that's all from me, guys. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.